Trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. We haven't quite opened yet, but they're already buying it, man. They're just itching. This is going to be a tough call today, I think, because I don't really know how far this should really go. I'm going to be careful. Oh. Oh. Pause. There we go. And here's the other one. Okay, so if we just review what we were doing, and I got to remember to switch it back over from charts afterwards. But the E-mini, well, we're gonna have to look at this chart really. So the E-mini liked what happened, and then they gave up all of the gains from that, and now we're heading lower. So equities are very concerned that the Federal Reserve is pulling back. Treasuries really liked it, and they are pushing higher. And here, just as I'm speaking, they've come back 2 ticks on the open. So that is very interesting. All right, well, this is going to be a real tricky day, and we could have some swings, so let's be cautious. All right. Well, they had a good pullback there. It could go back up for another one. I'm not sure. I think they're going to want to battle it out a little bit. So I think that I should let them do their thing for a little bit. And especially, you're going to have to see what the E-minis can do. They're like right on the lows. Good morning, Digital Shot. Could be up at the start, then pull back, maybe reverse part of action yesterday. If they do decide to do anything, I think you could very easily see 2800 in the E-mini. I didn't catch any particularly unusual aberrations in the DOM there, but they do appear to be balanced around 21.5. They did touch 20.5 though, so maybe they are gonna go up again. Let's see. I'm just gonna mark that price as an interesting price. And we're just like, we're so far up here now. We're like, I remember when we were down at the bottom and it was like, I don't know how far down it can go. And now we're up at the top and I don't know how high it can go. The thing is I think that the market has kind of been predicting and expecting this. How much of it is really already priced in? Good morning, everyone. 10-year Treasury yield tumbles below 2.5% as the 7-year inverts, says Zero Hedge. Paul Krugman, I generally don't do horse race politics, but with an unpopular president, a mobilized Democratic base, and before the Bernie as Hugo Chavez with the New York accent stuff even gets started, is this actually a terrible pull for Sanders? Is it rude to point out that Hillary Clinton led Trump in the popular vote by the same margin? The Bernie would have won argument is a big factor in the primaries, but it's based on 2016 polls that suggested Sanders would clobber Trump, not narrowly lead him. Yeah. I think that once the Democrat debates come out and you're going to start seeing the polls, it's going to look very different. So I think when I look out there, just the kind of the feel that I'm getting from talking to people, I'm kind of getting the impression already that the Democrat Party doesn't really like their field and that they're already starting to consign themselves that they might lose. 1 minute warning. So we got Philly Fed. So for the numbers today, we are looking for, well, we have Canadian ADP non-farm employment change that we should keep an eye on that. But the big numbers we're looking for, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, we are looking for a reading of 4.6. versus a previous reading of -4.1. All right, I'm having some issues with my machine here now. That's not cool. There we go. All right, what's killing me? Okay, I have to keep an eye on that. Unemployment claims 226K versus a prior reading of 229K. And CB leading index month over month, we're looking for a reading of 0.1% versus a previous reading of -0.1%. So I would pay particular attention to that Philly Fed manufacturing index number. Okay, they came back down to the bottom of that range there. Interesting. There we go, digital shot. Yeah, I was a little concerned for you there. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if you want to take that one. Now, there's a big stack at 20.5 there for a moment. Okay, so there's the news. Philly Fed 13.7 versus 4.8 expected. So the Philly Fed as a number is really good. And jobless claims 221 versus 225 expected. So the Philly Fed number was way better than expected. Is that, how unusual is that? 13.7 versus expected 4.6. Okay, it is not a terribly unusual beat. But we are going down. Where did I see that stack at? 20.5. Yeah, okay. Chill. No birds. He'd struggled to see strategy in Trump's Conway and McCain fights. Well, that's because people are forgetting the things that prompt him to say this stuff, right? He said the McCain thing because there was a story about some of the things that John McCain was doing while he was still alive that were frankly dishonest. That's why he was talking about John McCain. And then because he did that, then everybody was like, but John McCain was a great man. And then he started the fight. And quite frankly, he's right. But I don't want to bore you guys quite with that. Okay, IQ went short at 13. Dang, how'd you get that price? Okay. So they ticked up into 19.5 and I got a fill. And as that happened, the 20 was stacking. Yeah, birds woke up early today. For some reason, Restream chat doesn't get all of the messages. It gets most of them, but not all of them.
Block cell.
Wow. Okay. Well, I like having a block cell on my side, but that is maybe a little bit overdone. I don't know. If I hadn't have seen this signal at 20, then I would be like super concerned, but and they're absorbing a lot on the other side of it too. Ooh, and another one. A very aggressive pushing should be.
Block cell.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Should see pressure and steepening. I think so. That knob sure looks like. So they hit 18. They were able to make it go bid again, and they have a big stack there. I pulled a little bit. Well, E-mini's doing okay too. I wonder if they can push out above this 2818 area. Are the tips auctions really different from the usual ones? There's a 10-year tips auction today. Um, so I don't really look at the auctions too closely beyond the 5, the 10, the 30, and the 2. Um, so yeah, I maybe there is some auction that we see on those days because of that. It's not something that I've ever looked at. I would say, though, that at the moment it's probably secondary to the economic numbers that we just got. Well, there's been a lot absorbed at 18. I don't know if they're trying to push it through there or what. 6J came down too as it happened. Okay. These two are down. ZB wants to hold 07 at the moment. Okay, they did get through the iceberg at 18, and now they're hitting 17.5. That spot at 19 is now stacked to 9K. That's curious. Okay, another strong downtick, 17.5. Not that much actually traded there, 17.5, although it was 5K at one point. Okay. So somebody put on the brakes there. Okay. Well, that was a good trade. Let's see if it goes further. Now that I've taken it off, it's probably going to keep going. Yeah, they're eating into 17 even. There was a pretty big bid at 17 at one point that is now gone. So I would say that the way is probably clear. I kind of got the signal that I like to get out on. So, boom. Who's to say now? Brexit Summit Brussels. I'm here to discuss with fellow leaders a request for a short-term extension to June, says British Prime Minister May. Thanks for telling us the thing that, everybody's been reporting for the past 3 days. The fade at 18 didn't work. Or are you talking about ES or ZB? UK Prime Minister May. Britain will continue to be in Parliament. What? Nah, stop. It's moving. A short extension would give time to make a final choice. Britain will continue to be in discussions on issues like China and the Ukraine. What is important is that Parliament deliver on result in referendum. May working so Parliament can approve a deal. Now it's time for Parliament to decide. Sincerely hope we leave with a negotiated deal and short extension will give that opportunity. All right. Well, there was an iceberg at 17. They're quite a bit traded at 17.5, but they're not quite able to get over it. I suppose there may be some people looking to go for another leg. I'm tempted. I really, in my heart, would like to see this go down more, but I don't know what it's going to do. ZN. I was long at 18 looking to fade the move down. I was not expecting it to fall this much. I gotcha. Well, I have to say, when it ticked down there, it was awfully strong and suspiciously strong, wasn't it? But the problem that I had would the thing I would caution you in the future on that particular trade was that we got a pretty clear reversal signal at 19 where they're buying into 18.5 and people are actually stacking onto 19. Like as this looks like maybe it's going to fall, this is actually getting bigger. And it's over 8K. It was over 7 to 8K, right? So if you get a signal like that and we say, okay, that really is a down signal, and then it goes through, there's a block sell and everything like that, typically you're going to see it go, at least 4 ticks. Or, the average range, right? So, I got filled 19.5. And then when I got filled 19.5, we saw that stack. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually think it happened at 19. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what do you know? Now it's stopping and there's an iceberg. Right. So if you really wanted to fade it, 17 probably would have been a better price, but we're all saying this all in retrospect, so. Yes, also the market was falling all the way from 22. Yeah, that's a good point. It should have been more cautious. Okay, so they broke through the iceberg at 17 and there was an 11K there. So this spot is the thing I find interesting about this spot, other than that there's just a massive iceberg there, was that this is the bottom of the value area on the volume profile, right? 18 is where the most volume has gone through. I wanted to hold till 4-7 evens, but this pause made me nervous. I took a baby short at 3, 3 at 7, and out at 5, I see. And you wanted to hold it till 4. Hey, you would have gotten filled. I got you. Well, that's a good spot. The thing is now that 17 has fallen, yeah, okay. Sure enough. So now that they've gone through this huge iceberg, I think you could see at least 2 more ticks. So 16.5 and 16 maybe. There's usually 1 or 2 ticks after an iceberg. So for me, I think that I got out at the right spot. I think that that was my signal. But it did give us, it was telling us that there was a possibility of going down some more. Like I was saying, I really want to short it, but I don't know for sure. Maybe on that one I shouldn't have been so cautious. That was maybe a missed opportunity there. That's maybe a missed opportunity here at 16.5, but I think I want to be careful. Futures desperate for NBER to announce recession started today. Mark Spiegel, it's hilarious to hear that stocks are down supposedly because investors are afraid the Fed knows something. There are plenty of reasons for stocks to be down. I am very net short. But the idea that gang of idiots knows any more than you ain't one of them. I I I think that Mark Spiegel has a point there. The Federal Reserve is only reacting to the same data that we've been reacting to the past X, days. And all of this up move in equities lately was, in my opinion, a little bit overdone. I still think that this retest of 2600 could happen. Now, on the split side of that, though, I think that there's a tendency for people to overreact and to say, oh, okay, well, now that the Fed is admitting that there is a problem, we gonna, this is just gonna crash. Well, I think that the given the current economic data, that it would say that the S&P 500 should move sideways for a while. There they go. They're hitting 16.5. That offer is stacking so heavy. There could be more in this. I think that let's try and think of what some targets are here. I think that we had this spot here at 15, 16. We're too close to 16 for me to take it. What's the next step past that? 10.5. So if we get back into this part of the profile, let's see here. Was there a profile there? Yes, there was. Okay. So if we get back into this part of the profile from yesterday, I think that there's a really good chance that we go back through to the other side of it. So then that would be 10.5. Okay, well, that was a pretty significant uptick there. They bought through a lot of volume too. Digital shot took 17. Good job. Wonder if he bought it on the way down or if he took it as she goes there. Hmm. And 6K. Yeah, I can't take a trade here in this area. If we get back, if we retrace half of this though, so like 19. Is it just me or is the distribution in the ZB really clean? You mean like the volume profile? Yeah, actually is pretty clear. Pretty clear little, there's a notch there and then there's a little notch there. So I think that we're going to fill this out so it's like that. Trade a little bit at 06 there, But here's the thing. It's really clean in CV, but it is not in. Ugh. It's all over the place in ZN. And ZF is even worse because we got a distribution here and a distribution here. Right? Oh, okay. No, so jaggedy. Ah, okay. I don't know. I think now that we got that first 30 minutes trade, we should be eyeing equities here for a trade. And let Treasuries kind of do its thing for a little while. Bum, bum, bum. It really, like, especially the 5-year is really jagged and weird looking. That could be, though, that because of the spreading, they're probably buying CB up, and that's why you're getting a little bit better and cleaner of a volume back and forth as opposed to here where there might be more outright playing or something. I don't know. Should do that, yeah. Digital shot got said going to exit at 160. Maybe I don't hate this time of day, but I don't feel that there is as much opportunity in treasuries at this time of day. But maybe they keep going here. Look at that. Man, they did take it at 16. Interesting that drop in cumulative delta was a little bit much. Oh, there you go. There's the block buy. For 5K. What the fuck? That's a lot. Somebody buying a lot at the bottom. And it looks like somebody's already trying to hold the offer against him. There goes equities buying up there and leaving a big order behind at 28.19. Well, only for a moment, then it pulled. I think that the equities could get back up to this unfinished auction here at 28, 21, 25. So that was an unusual amount of buying at this time of day. That was a very unusual amount of buying at this time of day. Yeah. Yeah, it's so thick. Down tick again. Best place to buy a lot, lol. Where the block buy was. I'd say I've seen those go both ways. And we didn't always see those. Not the way that we do now. They used to be a real rare, like the first time that I saw that, we still have the video. I don't know what day it happened, but it's back in there. First day that that happened, that was fucking crazy. That was like a block buy came through and the market moved like 8 ticks and then came back and everybody was like, "What was that?" And there wasn't any news. It was just this block order. And now it happens all the time. And sometimes it's a really good continuation signal, like when we had just had that signal and then he sold it, you know? But very, very often it's a reversal signal. Well, I take that back because the hero was like, um, I mean, it can be a reversal signal, but I'm not, I guess I'm saying in this instance, it was like, there was a trade, there was a continuation. And then down here at the bottom, that means that like he took it off, I think. So I think that's what that one is. But sometimes you'll see down here at the bottom, you'll see like a block sell. And it's far enough away from the last signal that, and it's sometimes they just push against them and reverse it. At the bottom, if you're gonna give it a whack, may as well be down there. It's still not quite taken out that um, unfinished auction. I want to see them take out the unfinished auction. I want to see them go a little bit higher and maybe overextend up there. If that happens, then maybe there could be an opportunity to go short again. But why the buying? Prime Minister planned proper meeting on arrival in Brussels with Emmanuel Macron, probably most important encounter because of reports France is skeptical about granting any Brexit extension. That meeting now replaced with hopes for chat in margins of the summit. Okay, so that is not a good thing because that's meaning that they're not going to have as good of a meeting to talk about getting an extension. Biden folks tell us the early vice president play is more likely, and it would be done not to just mollify age concerns / elevate an heir for Dems eager to next gen, but also to preview the sort of administration he'd have, a diverse, competent, and stable. Okay, that's not the first time I've seen that. They were talking yesterday about people that he would potentially pick and that he would probably pick a minority. Supreme Leader Khamenei says Iran will continue to boost its defense power despite U.S. pressure. Says U.S. sanctions will make Iran self-sufficient, less dependent on its oil revenues. Breck's deputy political editor of Sky News cites UK cabinet source saying choice could be on no deal or long extension. Thinks May would back no deal. Ugh. Don't say that. Bundesbank sees no credit crunch after Brexit. Shift in order flow for the moment, looking to get long still, a big limit on 16.5. Well, there's still 4K there. And they've built up resistance all the way, well, I don't know. The resistance that we had above us has abated a little bit. There's still a big order at 17.5. I wonder, though, if we tick up, if that would change. Adrian, I don't like how long we've been sitting at 160. Well, equities, the E-mini has a bubble. I don't know if that means that it's going to go further, though. So now that 16 is stacking up as we tick back and forth. Nah, the 16 stacked up. Watch that 16 really close. Okay, so there was some big buying. Some big buying that time. ZF really bought there. Hmm. I definitely see the potential for long here in treasuries. Other than that, I don't like the time. But also, ES is just not positioned the way that I want it to be. Chicken or egg? Blanescaping for local slowdowns goes global. So there was a big jump up in cumulative delta there in ZF, and then it came back. Well, they bought it back up again. If you'd taken that knob spread short, by the way, it would have been an okay trade. I don't know if it's going to go any further, though. In terms of a pullback so far, it's been a little uninspiring so far. I have to confess, you are my ES market data feed provider. Am I? You don't. So you get ZN, but you don't get ES, or are you just only getting the what is it? The CBOT or whatever. Like you're not getting the whole CME package. You're just getting like the CBOT one. Do you see his absorptions? I only paid for interest rates. Yeah, that's what it is. Well, I see a lot of absorptions. So the thing that's irking me in equities right now was that I wanted to see it come up so that I could take it short. Um, and instead, what happened was it came up and it didn't quite reach the target because I thought, well, I don't know if this, like 28.20, I'm not sure that that's safe. That price is safe because they may try to stretch and get the unfinished auction and then a little bit and overextend. And when I'm looking at the E-mini, it got up to where it was. There was a bubble, and I can see the cumulative delta going the other way. I don't trade correlations with ES. Well, there is definitely a correlation between treasuries and ES, but it is the most unreliable thing that you're ever gonna see in trading, right? And especially as of late, it has not been very well correlated. I tell you what, though, there have been days. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm sure that it'll happen again. There will be a day where we'll be trading treasuries, and we'll be getting a strong trend up on something. Maybe it's a news release, or maybe it's just technicals, but we'll be getting a strong trend up. Like let's say that it moves up like 8-10 ticks and we catch a good trade in ZN, right? And then you look over at the E-mini and it's just kind of sitting there in a range from where it closed yesterday. Doesn't really seem to be doing anything. And you sell that E-mini, man, and you can just catch the wildest sells. And it is so weird how the treasuries buy it up, and then they turn around and then they go and they sell the equities. Totally happens. Not recently, but I've definitely seen it before. Many times. So, and you got to remember, a lot of the people that are using ZN to hedge, they are hedging their trades in equities. So they are intrinsically connected, even if there's not like a direct, perfect one-to-one correlation, right? or rather inverse correlation. It's usually an inverse correlation. But anyways, for the absorption thing, so there was the absorption that I saw in CN for sure. Now over here in Treasuries, I mean, they're kind of absorbing 5K at every tick anyways, so I'm not sure if I can read anything into all of that, but I'm seeing quite a bit of absorption in a lot of places, and I think that that's one of the major reasons why I am being more cautious and staying out right now. And honestly, when we look at Treasuries in particular, staying out the past 20 minutes was the right thing, right? Because we could have gotten long at 16.5 and gotten, what, 2 ticks for 20 minutes. I don't know if that's worth the time risk. Now, of course, if we retrace this whole move down and we go all the way back up to the highs of the day, then you're going to be looking back at 16.5 and wishing that you had taken it. But I'm happy with my decisions. Now, see, some of these ones I don't see because they are spam. Please send me $1 to the PayPal. How about new? If anyone has any Renko settings, I'd be grateful. I would like to test some stuff and figured I miss using Renko. You should tell people what platform. I think it might be time for a new mouse because this one has been giving me issues. Oh, Thinkorswim. Cash open in 2. Hang on tight. Yeah. I don't know if it's the mouse or if it's Chrome. Sometimes Chrome does weird things. JP Morgan analyst says for the first time, we do not see Brexit deal passing Parliament in first half of 2019 as single most likely path. The media is super hyper focused on the whole John McCain thing today. That's really interesting. We are seeing a little bit of a turn in the cumulative delta and in the DOM. So we are seeing it. Excuse me. We are seeing a change in absorption. A little bit more buying in the snacking and pulling. Excuse me. A one-term pledge. So the other thing that I'm hearing about Biden is that he's saying that he's only going to serve for one term because he's so old. Aha. Okay, so there's the open. See that? That is exactly what I was worried about. And you might say, well, Seth, if you were worried about that, then why didn't you take it long? Well, that's because this impulse up might be very temporary. And since it's happening on the open and I'm trying to avoid that first 30 minutes of trading, German Chancellor Merkel, we have to prepare for the possibility of agreement not passing British Parliament. March 29th is Brexit Day. We must work to the last moment to get an orderly Brexit. Okay, they both going up. Well, I would be tempted to short that right there in equities. The bubble there, 28, 22.75. And then a little bit of a push up and exhaustion from it. They're not pushing below it, but that's, I think you would want to take it with the theory that it's going to go below it. But I don't think that the time of day and everything is quite right. Brexit extension beyond the European elections is impossible, says Luxembourg Prime Minister Bettel. I'm also concerned about some sort of a headline coming out and just like really upsetting the market. And it could be either way, but yeah, I think we should be careful. Oh, did you decide to replace the webcam? You know what? I forgot to put it on there. Yeah. I should keep that up there. Yeah. I took it down because I didn't want to, I was still eating a croissant when I started streaming, and I didn't want to have to bother you guys with watching me stuff my face, so I turned it off. There is stuff behind there though, isn't there? And that's where I hide my little um, trade control thing. You can see I'm on my sim account today. Bum bum bum. Ace trades, I got in long at 28.2075, locked in 2 points plus a tick for commission. Okay. So did you take that? Would that have been, where are we? Would that have been before the open though? You could have taken it a little bit before the open if you wanted to. Yeah. Okay, so now we're past 5 minutes. I'm still super tempted to want to trade this. So we're hitting some big prints up in here. A few seconds after the open when it moved up strongly. Gotcha. See, I'm still thinking. So when we were there, I thought, I think we should still get 28, 21, 25. So when it moved up strongly, I was like, it's gonna happen. Plus, I don't think that this 30 minutes is very good for me in ES. Okay, so it comes up here. So now I'm sitting here thinking, okay, maybe it could turn around here. But now I'm wondering, okay, so there's an iceberg, for instance. So this is a potential spot to short for sure. But now I'm wondering, is there too much buying trend in ES to be taking a trade like that? You know? I'm still thinking about the pre-market. And you know, look at treasuries. The treasuries are coming down a bit there too. And look, they held so far. They are holding this spot. Five points is an ace straight. They're still absorbing. They're still moving. They're still absorbing. Okay. Let's try it. Nope. Nah, I don't like that. Should have waited. Especially since there's that thing up there. Nope. Okay. I think it's going to give one here somewhere. There's a lot of absorption on this thing, though. So I think that initial caution that I had that was like, is this just too strong of a buy to be taking that kind of a trade? I think that was correct. Because look at it go. Look at it go. Okay, I think that's a little bit of a better spot. Yeah. Okay. Well, if they have another downturn here, this could sell really quick. I saw yesterday that ES shot up during FOMC and retraced the entire move before the close. Bless you, bros, who can trade that thing. Right. Well, I was kind of talking about this um, when yesterday when it was happening, because I remember this behavior during the whole like QE days, right? You would get this thing where it's like, QE is going to continue, or they're going to do another round of QE, and so the stock market would move up. Um, and that was like the right thing because QE was basically like, throw 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 money into the economy, basically, right? I had an okay short there, but now I've let it gone past me, and I don't think I managed this trade very well. But I'm gonna be hands off on it, and if this one doesn't work, then I'm just done on ES for today. Mm-mm-mm. Anyways, they would buy it up, and then another group of people would come in and say, yeah, but um, the that means that the economy is not that great, and that the Federal Reserve is worried about the economy so much that they have to pump money into it. That's not good for our stocks, and so then they would go down. And in some time periods, over the course of the week, it ended up, and sometimes it would end down, but there was always like impulses both directions. And especially after the Federal Reserve meeting, you would see like these big moves, like big move up and big move down sort of a thing. Hmm. Treasuries still seem to like this spot. They're trading a lot here now. And my mouse is definitely jacked up. I wonder if it could be like something in the court or something, like a short in the court. Let's move that. Let's see if that does it. Something. These trades is a pretty generic name. Well, yeah, there was that other guy that we had, right? You killed him though, right? I hadn't seen the other one in a while. I assumed that you guys, took it to the horse and you killed him. Or if not killed him, he agreed to be banished. Oh, I didn't see that earlier. Hey, you sell trading education, don't you? Hell no, sounds like a job. Eh. I was actually thinking about that yesterday because there's been, I've been looking at a couple of, people have been alerting me to a couple of different scams, and I look at that, and I'm like, well, it seems like that people are willing to pay a lot of money for products that aren't really very good, and I could probably do a better job at doing it. But then I thought about what would be actually be involved in doing that sort of a thing, and I was like, no, that would be like way too much fucking work. would not fit my lifestyle right now very well at all. I bet your mommy does call you Ace. Don't lie. She calls me Sunny because I'm so bright. Oh man. I was visiting my mom this past weekend, and she was trying to get me to go to some day trading webinar. Ugh. Yeah, I don't think this one's gonna work. They're holding on there, but they're kind of consolidating higher. Yeah. Okay. No more e-mini trades today. Well, I take that back. I might take one after 8 o'clock. I think there comes a point when you've been trading long enough where all you're competing with is the element of chance and risk management. What's a day trading seminar going to teach me at that point? Yeah. I think that you have a good point there. Well, I mean, let me put it a different way. There are oddities in treasuries that we know about and talk all the time about, right? There are odd, behaviors in the way that it trades during certain times of the year, certain times of day. When other markets are doing this sort of thing, this is the sort of thing that it tends to do over here, right? Those are all useful information that you could potentially pick up from a trading seminar. But my observation from the stuff that I have seen and from the things that from people that have taken those things and from what they see is that they typically don't do that. They typically don't give you that kind of information. And really, the best way to get that kind of information is to learn how to program and backtest that information yourself. Or, talk to lots of traders and they tell you that sort of a thing, right? It just seems to me that for what you're getting, that the education is overpriced. Like, yeah, it could save you a couple of months, but that's a couple of months figuring it out for yourself. That's valuable experience too. So I don't know if it's just like a no-brainer that you should buy the trading education and skip that, Sure, but they ain't teaching the nuances of order flow at a day trading seminar. They're telling you you can get rich if you buy their signal service. Yeah, freaking exactly. So that was another thing that I had noticed was that the people that are trying to sell like that sort of a scam sort of a thing. Good morning, John. Um, Man, I still think that this is gonna stop at some point, but I don't know when it's gonna do it. I'm really sad that my short didn't. I didn't like that I took two. Here, wait, I'll bring it back up here. Okay, so I took the stop twice. So if we were trading the micro, that would have been, $20, right? But I did see the short there, right? And it did work for a little bit. So like, it's probably going to do it eventually, and then just be able to take it. Anyways, it seems to me that the kind of people out there that are looking to scam you don't like order flow. You see, order flow requires an understanding of nuance and context. To trade with order flow, you have to actually understand what markets are doing underneath. You have to understand what is going on with the businesses that are taking these trades. All that stuff, right? How do you sell that to people? You can't. That's too much work. You can't quickly scam some rich guy out of $5,000 with order flow. You just can't. And so they hate it. And they'll say something like, oh, I found that order flow doesn't tend to work. Or they'll say, well, you have to look at it with this one thing and then maybe it's kind of useful or something like that. I'll have to review today's recording, Seth. I didn't see that short and actually went long. Well, I mean, you were right, Lucas, right? Short in the E-mini, that is. Oh, you must be talking about earlier because you don't have the E-mini. So you must have been talking about probably went long at like 18 or something. That's right, because that's what you said. Yeah, I'm always curious what businesses are doing when they trade back and forth at two prices. Lol, like, what are these fuckers doing? Well, it might just be a robot, taking and scratching something over and over again. EU's junker. If May doesn't get approval, we need meeting next week. May needs to get UK Parliament's approval. You see, this right here in the E-mini, again, looks to me like a short. No. No, I'm talking about the E-mini. Yeah. I'm talking like my plan was to let the E-mini come back up and test around the previous day's high. It's gone further than I've expected, but I still want to see it go short. I don't think so, other than Apple's sales are coming in a little better than expected. Okay. But I think that I have a little bit too rigid of a plan for yesterday, and it didn't do what I expected. So now it could still do it, but how many times am I gonna take that before? You know what I mean? I took it twice. I think that that's enough. So if it does go down, we're just gonna watch it, but it still looks to me like it has some potential to flip here. NQ is a strange beast. It seems to like everything when it comes to news events. That's interesting. Yeah, I need to I was looking at getting another monitor. So if I get another 27-inch that's just not, a high refresh rate and all that junk. Although I think I would want to keep the 2K resolution. I was seeing some out there for like under 200. Nah, I didn't see like a really good deal though. So I think I would wait. And then I would need to buy a different stand, so. Macron says Brexit deal can't be renegotiated. Yeah, screw him. Okay. No deal Brexit then. You happy, Macron? Is that what you want? That position makes no sense to me. And tell me, Euro guys, why would he say that? That doesn't make sense to me. NQ's thin like CL. So let's talk about that. Because with the micro futures coming out, you'll be able to trade NQ with, 1/10 of the size. With the way that NQ moves, that could get really attractive, wouldn't it? In fact, it might be more attractive to the micro traders than ES. Yeah. Meanwhile, in 2034, no deal Brexit. No. So if that happens, what happens if you get into a point where like there's more people trading the micro than, you know what I mean? We could get a strange dynamic start to play out in equities because of this. Yeah. Because then what if you get, there's a lot of people on the micros and they're trading it, and there's actually a decent amount of liquidity on there. But then you have the arbitrage robots that are going to want to push through the liquidity. It's going to be really interesting trading, right? That ES is still going. They did give another bubble, but it's still going. Don't forget to watch out for the 10s. Well, ZB did move up there and stop at 12. See, you're seeing these bubbles show up. A lot of bubbles show up. But now they're so close to the high, I think that they really want to pierce that high. Huh. This, by the way, is a really strong buy trend in the ES too. What do they got on CNBC? This market is not moving. I think we'll get a move in the 8 to 8:30 time period. I'll be keeping an eye out. Mortgage rates just tanked. Well, that actually could be a good thing, maybe. Let's see, okay, so there's the new high. So now I see 28, 39, 25. Interestingly, though, Treasuries just don't seem to want to let it go below 16. Isn't this like I might be wrong about the read on the volume profile, but I think that this is like a D, right? But it's not at the bottom of the range. So I think that that indicates the presence of a very strong buyer here. And if we do get another impulse, it could potentially be up. But for that to happen, I think that the E-mini has to top off and go down. Okay, this is the last try on this. Okay. The initial behavior at my spot is good. I did see something. They're probably going to go through me for a little bit.
So I'm kind of watching here, even if this trade works out, would that have been a better? So, like, that probably would have been a better spot for sure. Treasuries did take a little step down there, and like the volume and the delta all really changed there. So, did some people just give up? ZB sold 2K contracts between '08 and '07, still hanging tough. Pretty significant sells there for sure. And if treasuries break here, there's longs trapped. Yeah. Uh, okay. Well, our experimentation in the E-mini was a total dud today. Where did I take that last one? My mouse is still being weird. Oops, not that one. I wanted that one. 28.35. So I think that last one was not necessarily that the trade was wrong. I don't think that the trade has been invalidated yet. I think that I got into the wrong spot of the range. Hmm. See, that's it right there. Watch it stop me out now on a new high. Ooh, block sell. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is just a trend up day. That action at 15.5 in ZN was really interesting though. And now another block sell. So I don't know if that's like one guy is like really unsure what's going to happen or what. But that's really weird. Okay. Over here. Chinese and U.S. trade officials are scheduled to hold two back-to-back rounds of high-level talks starting next week, signaling that the two economic powers are rushing for a final deal to end their tit-for-tat trade war despite apparent divisions. Okay. U.S. market open sparks stock buying panic. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that these price in equities are justified, but it's doing what it's doing. The financials are in correction mode, but one strategist sees a chance for investors to cash in. The heck. Some of the stuff that my local news tweets out is stupid. Let's look around. Let's see what the equity indexes go. Yeah, they kind of feel the same way. Hmm. See, it seems like the bull has really slowed down in equities. And I mean, this looks like a crazy overextension. But sometimes it's just going to go and it's just going to keep moving. I wonder what are our friends in oil thinking. I didn't really seem to see a clear agreement on a direction, but we'll see. Oil kind of had like a little bit of a move down and then return back to balance. Probably could do just about anything. Please take my money. $6,000 for a 1-year mentorship? Hell no. Dude, like I would pay like $6,000 for a 1-month mentorship. Come on. Don't be a cheapskate. You know, there are people out there selling trading room packages that include like daily mentorship sort of thing packages and stuff. $5,000 a month. Right? And I'm telling you right now, Ace is a way better trader than any of these guys that I've seen. And you're only gonna offer 6? Come on, you gotta go higher. It's gonna be worth at least like what, $10,000 a month? I'm looking at the Ace Trades website. Oh, so that's there's actually is a website called Ace Trades, huh? Okay. Some of your comments earlier make a little bit more sense to me now. I don't know, man. This looks like a fucking short. Jesus. What is it? Can I like, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, right? Shouldn't cuss. I'm sorry. Bum, bum, bum. I tell you what, though, if this sells hard, it's gonna be spectacular. I don't know, let's not get overly excited. I don't know what it would do, what it could do, but um, we're experimenting. Let's look for a reversion back to the VWAP if it does it. And maybe we have to take it off early. Fuck it. I'll sit around and bullshit with you about trading for 10K a month, right? It would be it's worth it, dude. Totally worth it. I think we should set it up. We can put together some like high pressure sales tactics, like we'll make another Discord forum or something, and like the instant that you join the Discord, we can make sure that he starts getting messages from bots and from salespeople to pressure him into buying the package, right? And then all of the pictures and stuff have to be like super glitzy looking, like just use like as many wild colors and weird looking stuff. Like it'll probably look like shit and like completely confusing, but that's the way that you got to do it, because what if it's confusing, then the noobs are like, well, it looks complicated and I don't understand it, so it must be really good and useful, right? Easy way to earn trading capital with no risk and get me a pool. Oh yeah. I mean, think about that. $5,000 a month. If you could even con even just one rich guy into doing that, right? You could make some crazy good money. You could get a pool. I mean, how much do you really need for a pool? Yeah. That is really weird that when I lose my connection through NinjaTrader, that the data still, the level 2 data and everything still comes through. So it's almost like it doesn't completely lose its connection or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. Isn't that the goal? A couple years of probability, start a trade room, charge $300 a month, 200 people, you're set. Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. I guess it depends on which way you want to do it, right? I think most of the smart ones, they only charge a few $100s a month for a trading room. And they might, they're not all necessarily scams. I think that they're just not worth it. You know what I mean? But then there's other ones that are going for the whales, right? So that's where, or you have a large set of packages, right? So you have like the basic package, which is like $100 a month for your basic noobs, and then in case you catch a whale, you have plans all the way up to $5,000. I'm thinking ZB needs to test supply in the 147.17 area. Wow, that's way up there. I'm a little, so the thing that I'm seeing though is that we are seeing some flattening in the knob spread. And so it seems to me that the 30-year is just up a lot higher than the other ones. But if we are flattening and that continues through, then the treasuries could potentially go lower and drag ZB down with it. I don't know. The E-mini looks toppish to me. The E-mini looks very toppish to me. If they can push through 28, let's say 28.32, let's say, with some volume, then it could get really ugly. Asked Corbyn after Barnier-Selmayr meet if it was only route to avoid a no deal. Could he rule out backing A50 revocation? These are hypothetical. We think there's an urgency in constructing a majority for an agreeable solution. That's what we're concentrating on at the moment. Good response. Okay, well, there is some sell pressure, but they ain't going yet. It is around that time of day. I don't know if this is actually going to go. It's looking more clearly like a short, but at the same time, you kind of almost have to wonder, like, is it too clear of a short, you know? long has it been here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There it goes. It looks like they're gonna have to stop out some people. Okay. No way I would have gotten filled. I saw it too late. I don't think you would have gotten filled at 15.5 yet. That's the trade. 16.5 to 15.5. Okay. Somebody puking there? No, that's the same price that they've been messing with. Huh. It's 8:30. It's too late for any trades. Okay, so once again, I continue to be on a great winning streak with treasuries, but my equities trades ain't working out. Now, when I'm not doing so great in the equities, that there are trends, but I think I need to do a little bit more work on some day setups to see if there's something, because like that buy, I really have not much of a clue how you could have seen that and taken it long and held that all the way up to there, you know? But I was wrong. Buy, sell, Russia. I don't see them coming back from this divergence. Yeah, so they're in ZN, like the delta is actually equalized, so there you go. See, there's still just trouble at 15.5. Okay, well, I guess I never end up taking another ZN trade. But it sat down there the whole time. So like that was the fucking right thing, wasn't it? And you know, if we were trading micros, that wouldn't be like a complete disaster, I guess. I mean, it would be really bad, but probably would have. I think that I should have been like that one and maybe that one. Or what was the one? No, it was this one. This is the one that worked. Now both of these worked. So maybe I actually could have come out like equal. Like I could have taken that 9 there or something like that, if I managed things correctly. But overall, it's just like the E-mini is just oof. And especially when it's on a trend like that, you're like less than or you're just fighting it. But so I don't know. I really need to work on that though. If you guys have suggestions on how I should change up the E-mini traits, Seth, why don't you just increase size in treasuries? Well, I want to trade the micros. And I want to trade the micros for 2 reasons. One, because there's going to be a lot of people coming in to trade micros, and I feel like that's going to be helpful. If, you know, more helpful to people if I have some experience trading that. And 2, because it's like not very much risk. I mean, that whole thing, like that to me was like a really bad trade. Like, sorry, not a really bad trade, like a really bad series of trades. But each one of those on micros would only be like $10, you know? So like all of that, like a pretty decently bad trade, even a really decently bad trade with one contract in micros is less than losing a tick in ZN. It's crazy, right? But so I think that there are some good reasons for me to learn that, and I want to do them both. And I want to do the E-mini in the time periods where the treasuries aren't so good. Yeah. But I just don't understand the E-mini very well right now. I guess I kind of have a feel for like the tendencies. Like I knew that they're like, okay, there's going to be a sell here, and then either that sell comes in and we like unwind this, or they're going to stop them out higher. Like I knew that one. But today is just an uptrend day. What do I do to figure that out? You know, in ZN, I have a pretty good knack for that now, but I don't in ES. This is just going up against anything that I can think of. Why pay that other ace guy when you can follow my calls in this room for free? Yeah, and just for note, ace trades did end up taking along there on the buy. Although I would have to wonder because I mean I think ace took his trade and then just he got his thing. But did you think that it was going to come up this high? Like, are you surprised that it's come up this far? I'm not coming off like across like a braggart. No, listen, I understand how you feel, Ace. I too am a very humble person, but at some point you have to admit when you have all of the stats to back things up and the experience and everything, like you have to admit you're pretty fucking good. You are. You've been doing a really good job. I've never seen Uzi have, well, either of you guys, Uzi or Ace, I've never seen either of you guys have like a super awful trade. Like I've never seen like them tell us something that was like a big mistake, let's say. I kind of have to laugh because there's been some people that have suggested that you should trade against it. The calls that people make in rooms, right? Now, if I make a call in ES right now, you could totally trade against me and it would totally work. Because we just have to admit at this point right now, and hopefully in the next 2 months that changes. But right now, I do not know what I'm doing in the ES, and I suck bad at it. In treasuries, I'm doing pretty good. Since December. So over the past 4 months, I've been doing really well on treasuries. But anyways, so if you trade against these guys, you're probably going to lose. They've been doing good. Past performance isn't indicative of future results, but I just wouldn't recommend it. Not to mention that, part of, I think, their edge is being able to manage the trade well, right? Yeah. Everyone loses in the market. Anyone who tells you different is lying or selling something. So here's the thing that boggles my mind, though. Well, wait, I should finish my other thought first, and then I need to post my notes. Got 5 minutes here. I think that with some of you guys that are really good, and I really think Ace and Uzi are both people that have had really, really good calls and have shown us enough. I don't think that either of them have shown me a statement, but I think that we've seen enough to say that we're pretty good. I think John is another one, and the guys that in the Discord that we put in that league, because those are people that I've actually seen statements from. But part of their edge is being able to manage the trade. Like they get them wrong too, probably even wrong like 50% of the time, but like they realize that they're wrong like almost right away. Whereas one of the problems that I have is like, especially here in the E-mini, I kind of have an inkling that I'm wrong, but it's like, but I'm not really sure, and it's kind of doing weird stuff. Maybe I should just give it the room and see what it does. And then it hits the stop every time. Whereas these guys, they can break even or -1, and be fine. Anyways, but the thing that boggles my mind is people's ability to be absolutely fucking wrong about something and still pretend that they were right. Have you seen that? I have in the past day I have seen that from people, and they were like, "Oh, we want to take this trade," and it was a really bad trade. And what they do is they say like, they don't actually take a position, and then so it's like, what would be a good example of something? Okay, so like I'm gonna pull one over here. So like in ZB, okay, we've spent a lot of time at 08 in ZB, have we not? And you could go in and you could say, I'm looking for a short. I think that this is going to go lower, right? And then what does it do? It goes up, right? But then it goes back down. So if you just kind of never had a position, or you have such a wide stop, and then you just wait for it to get a few ticks in your favor, and then you say, oh, see, I was right. When really, were you right? Right is a matter of timing and other things, right? But like, people fall for it. Like, it's so crazy, but people actually fall for that. Like, I've seen places where that happens, right? Guess it would have been, they say, I want to buy it here, and then it goes lower, but then, yeah, okay, at one point it did reach 12, so I guess you could say that you were right, but like, you were wrong twice before you were right. Just like here in the E-mini, I can keep saying, I think it's going to go down eventually, and maybe eventually it does do it, and I can say, aha, I was right, but really, was I right? No, because time frame wise, I wasn't. Time frame wise and stop and target and all of that wasn't right. Right? But how you manage a trade is half of it. What do you think I am, an ace trade student? For me, the thing for me is I do most of my losing after we close up here. It's actually kind of a weakness of mine, looking for trades after 11 to 2 p.m. Yeah, so 100% in treasuries, especially if you are good at catching trends in treasuries. After the European close, don't trade. Just don't trade after the European close. That's my advice. Izzy, you need a hobby: oil painting, flying tires. Okay, so since you're a high roller, so you're doing pretty good. Here's an expensive hobby for you to take up that might be interesting. VR pod racing. So you get like those quadricopters, and they have a camera attached to it, and you can control it with a VR headset on, so that you're like from first person view of it. Like, dude, that sounds like a fucking fun hobby, doesn't it? Oh, Bitcoin is doing it. They're doing it. Oh, I like that sell. Yeah, my hobby is trading. What do I do to avoid it? Listen, if your hobby is trading, you need a second hobby to counteract the trading, right? Like, there's no way around it. Trading is fucking stressful. And you've got to have something to unwind at the end of the day. Like you should have, okay, if you're trading, and then you should have a hobby that is like working out or running or something like that. Like you need to like physically get rid of the stress, and then you need something else to mentally get rid of the stress. Okay, like I'm terrible at this because like I like to play games, right? So I come home and I'm playing like Apex Legends and stuff. But like if you're doing good and you're like at the end and it's the last group or whatever and you're about to win, like that is stressful. I feel the intensity when I'm playing that game. So is it really helping me de-stress? No, not really. Right. I probably need to play something calmer like Farmville. There's a good game to relax, Farmville. Learn some life lessons. There's some good life lessons in Farmville. That's a good game. You can play it with family. Your wife will probably like it. It's a great game. Try Farmville. There's a hobby. It's got to be something not stressful. Now, unfortunately, many of the guy hobbies are just not calming. Running, I did enough of that in the army. Yeah. I don't know why people pick up running as a hobby. I hate running. But you know what? So I do the Olympic weightlifting. That's a hard hobby too, man. Like when we're getting I have a coach and she gives us the workout and I just do what she puts on the workout, and like we talk about it every time if we need to adjust things and how we're adjusting it and everything. But they work you hard. They work you hard. When I get to the close to a competition, they prime your nervous system, and I've gotten a lot better at it the last 2 or 3 competitions or cycles. I haven't had this problem, but I did a study on it. Like I went back and looked at my performance over that deload week when I'm, well, not just the deload week, but when I'm the week where we're lifting the heaviest, and then also the deload week. And it's like you're twitchy. Like your nervous system is so much faster during that time that you get the impulses and you want to trade in. It's harder to control your impulses and overtrade. 100% hard hobby. Smash the bid. I do softcore drugs. Does that count? Well, that might not be the best long term. See, all of these hobbies that you guys are talking about are not, not de-stressing. Being healthy is overrated, maybe. Being hyper healthy is a little overrated. You can get the health benefits and be happy without having to be hardcore at the gym. I probably work out harder than I should. One of your crazy students could come hunt you down. Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. Okay, it is now past 8:45, so I need to post the notes. So I will cover any other comments here after I post that. Let's see here. I picked up smoking in the army. That's my bane in trading. I'm like a sleazy 80s trader with my ashtray on the desk. Oh, man. Yeah. Because, like, smoking definitely calms you down. But then when the nicotine is gone, it's even more stressful than before. I know how you feel. My boss at Goldman Sachs, he liked to smoke, and he had picked it up earlier in his life, and he wanted to get off of it, and you could just tell it really fucking stressed him out, man. They always pointed that shit out in forex trading trips. It'd be healthy, man. I was fucked health-wise before I started trading. Well, you gotta get the sleep, 100%. So, like, the thing is, I don't think that average people realize when they are being more impulsive than normal, or when it's more difficult to self-regulate. In trading, that's like a huge difference, right? And just one bad night's rest can totally ruin that. Can you imagine if I had, just for instance today, um, I mean, in the E-mini, let's just say that that's still a work in progress, and obviously trend day very wrong. But let's just say in Treasuries, can you imagine if I had been impulsive in Treasuries, I could have taken -1 like 5 or 6 times there. You know what I mean? And then you could have lost on this short. In the wreck by 9, up by 6. Yeah. Well, I get like 7 hours, but if I go like a whole week, 6 hours sleep, you can tell that by Friday, I'm not as good. Ooh, what was that? UK petition to cancel Brexit passes 1 million signatures. I don't think that was it. Did this pretty quickly, so don't take as gospel, but it looks to me like 10 candidates have already qualified for the debates under the DNC's polls criteria. Yeah. I really think that they could have 20 people. It'll be funny. Okay. Well, guys, it was fun today. I am really happy with, let's just look at it here, but go back a little bit. Get rid of that and show me from all the way at the beginning of the month. And I should be have dug myself out of that hole, right? Yep. That hole that got left off of this nonsense. That so now that we're back here, I probably could size up, but that one's all sim. I'm not looking to trade live until I've gotten past this May time period and proven that I have overcome that difficulty in that switch. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable. Looks like that Yumi's still going, so watch out.